stream has started. Okay, is this... Can I like tap the little button? I don't know how I got into the casting of my screen. I didn't even know I could do that. I have a headache, and it's like 12:54. So anyway, hi Vibers. I am Mindy, and I'm living intentionally. And so yesterday, Sunday, I was like, oh man, I miss church. I need to be in the Word, like, and what I kind of did is I went to Instagram and I think I searched faith, and I spun the thing, and I was like, what's this? And it was Romans 8:38, and Romans 8:38. For I am persuaded that neither death nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor heights, nor depth, nor any other created thing shall be able to separate us from the love of God, which is in Christ Jesus our Lord. And I had things to do yesterday. I had to go see Beetlejuice in the theaters. Beetlejuice! And that was fun. It was good, not great. Um, just like too many plot lines going, and they just like whoosh, wrap them up like too quickly for my liking. But they had to because there was too much going on. Um, anyway, so I've just been doing like Bible study. As I have a headache. I don't know. It was just like on my mind. And I'm just gonna read what I wrote on Facebook. So some versions of the Bible, I looked it up, say I am sure or I'm convinced. And my version and the version that I found, the scripture that I found when I spun the wheel and stuck my finger on Instagram, matches my Bible. It says persuaded. And so I was like, huh, that's really interesting. I'm like, every time I'm in the Bible, I'm in multiple versions of it. I want to know what every version says. And that's how I do it. So I don't have my 3 other Bible versions in front of me right now. But other versions do say, I'm sure, I'm convinced. And those are like, huh, that made me really want to break down persuaded from my version of the Bible. So, persuade, the definition is to move by argument, entreaty, or expostulation to a belief, position, or course of action. Uh, I feel like I need to look up the word expostulation. But I think it's what is that? Like verbal... Oh, I know. Alexa, define expostulation.
Expostulation is the act of remonstrating or making an earnest protest. It is a word often used to describe the expression of disagreement, disapproval, or indignation.
So disapproval or indignation to a belief. Um, position or course of action. So that's like a debate term, right? Um, persuade, cause someone to do something through reasoning or argument. Uh, as in, it wasn't easy, but I persuaded him to do the right thing. And to plead with, to urge. And I I like persuade. I like the use of the word persuade because it really speaks to that argument that this is a discourse, that this is a relationship that we have to God, not blind dogma, right? Um, and maybe I would be able to just like go on that, but if I don't I might have actually said that in what I'm about to read. I don't know. I'm just gonna be reading like what I've been writing, which is public on my Facebook. So whatever. Urge. I feel connection with that because so many times I have acted on an urge that felt like a powerful compulsion, like a spell being cast on me, like I had no will of my own. Times I have found the strength to resist such an urge, it has been at risk of madness. It's this pattern recognition that informs me that logically, Christ is the way and the Bible is the Word of God. Oh, yeah, but sure and certain come off dogmatic, and those words do not reveal the relationship we have with God the way I am persuaded does. And the present tense, oh, that oh so powerful I am statement which is provided. I am persuaded. Um, I guess I will have to make another video. I'll have to make an I am video. You missed that lesson. Um, the I am exercise that I did. I'll have to do that. But truth rings loud to me through that I am. I am persuaded. I am persuaded. I have been persuaded. I will be persuaded. I am persuaded. Um, because it's been an argument. I've been fighting external influence very hard all my life. And it was good I did that because I am not as much of this world as are others of my age, sex, group, demographic, race. And it was bad because in doing that, in fighting external influence, I was also resisting the command of God. It has taken trial and error. It has taken trial and error. Like many times of hearing his word, getting vision, a dream, an urge, an intuition, and I did not obey, I was sorry. I was dreadfully sorry because of the consequences of my disobedience. So for me, it's not with blind faith or the recent 2012, 2013, my surrender to Christ that clearly communicates to me that this passage of the Bible is truth. Rather, it's a body of evidence spanning my whole life. And so many of these urges were not a matter of just ignoring an inkling, but feeling as if I was locked into a random encounter battle with a force outside myself, trying to raise arguments that even I know are weak, such as, but if I veer from my course, I'll be late for work, or this appointment, or that appointment. And I don't have any desire to speak with anyone. Knowing full well, I truly don't care about being late for anything. Like, fuck the world, right? And the fact that I do not care what others think and have no social anxiety is what makes me so well suited to be puppeteered up to a stranger. Um, and I should know better than anyone I've ever met, anyone I've ever known, right? Like, come on. I am that I am. I should know better than anyone I've ever met that I'm not crazy and that I should not ignore the voices in my head as though they were just schizophrenic manifestations. But even I have tried to dismiss these arguments as illusion. And even if I could dismiss the voice and the argument and shut that down, the urge would still be there. Oh, I wrote headache faded. Uh, so I wanna expand. I'm gonna try to like wing it a little bit. I want to expand on what I meant when I said times I have found the strength to resist such an urge, it has been at risk of madness. Okay. So, um, one of the really pronounced like there's some really pronounced incidences of this where I resisted and it was just like I just felt, like in the grip of darkness, of madness. When I was a kid and I was just like really drawn to this one kid in my class, like I had the urge to like go up to him and interact with him and just like be friendly, and I was not a child that was ever trying to make friends, and feeling that urge like so strongly and being aligned as I was with serving chaos and like darkness, and having been um, sworn, like I mean I was like, yes, Satan, I will sit beside you on your throne, like you will be on your throne and I will sit beside you while you're on your throne, and like, yeah, like I did that, like I subscribed to that, like I had open communication with that. I had an open channel to that. I felt like I was evil. I identified as that. And so like this urge, like I was like, okay, like that this must be the devil. I felt so strongly compelled to go to him. And like through the years, like as we aged, like into high school, like I was just like, I'm so acutely aware of this guy. Like what the heck? And like how does his name keep finding its way into like the mouths of people just around me? And like I'm like it was so weird. It was so weird. But like my interpretation when I was a little kid in elementary school had been that like this urge is the devil, and I fought it super super duper hard. One of the reasons that I was feeling that like was because it would have required confrontation. Like somebody was like, this girl was like, I own him. He's my dog. He's my slave. You are not to so much as look at him. And I have my little bitches in your class that are my friends reporting to me. And, like, so you're not going to get away with this or whatever. And I was new to that school. Like nobody knew me in that school. And the perception was that I was just this like shy, like quiet, little like weird, like like no one in this new school setting had ever seen me wild out, right? Nobody had ever seen me flip out or like, be the fucking class clown or like any of that. Like these people did not know me at all. They did not know what they were poking when they were poking me. And so like I was like, okay, like I really worked on like biting my tongue. Like it like I mean it feels really good when like you see that you like struck the heart of your enemy like in their eyes. It's like, oh my god, you like they just got read. They just got read aloud to the whole class, like what their issues are and all their shortcomings and everything, like but that's wicked, right? And wicked feels delicious, like I fed on that. It felt good to bully, right? Like I was bullied severely, but it felt good to become that. Like no lie. And so I if I in order to proceed, in order to like actually like, like just okay, like I'll try to be friends. Like I'll try in order to just try to be friends with him, which like all I wanted was friendship. Like I did not have like any like interest in dating or coupling or like kissing boys or any of that like at all. Like completely like antisocial. I was a very young misanthrope. Um and yeah, like confrontation probably would have been physical, and like I had um violent like um visions, like I just like it was just really hard to let it go. It was just really hard to let it go. And like whereas it would have only taken like, like standing up for myself or something, or just fighting back, or actually like revealing my true character to this new class setting of mine, that's like, yeah, no, I'm unpredictable. I'm very I'm very animated actually. Like so um I just like I was I was just like, I don't know, I made choices, whatever. I feel like this is like way off track, but one of the reasons that I felt like it was the devil is because like it would have required some violence. It would have required me to be my wicked little ornery self in order to assert that, like, you think this boy's your slave, well, like, I'm the master here to free him. Like, I don't want him to be my slave. Like, maybe I want to get up to some bad shit with him. Like, yeah, like if I had a friend and a little partner in crime, like all the ideas that I had, like that might have gone really bad. But I was I was trying to be good, at least, because at that point I had walked away from the devil. The devil was not happy about that. I had walked away from that. I was like, I'm just a free agent of chaos now, though. Like I turned from the devil, and it's like it felt like in my spiritual like cloud of everyone watching me, um like, oh yay, and it's like, no, no, don't cheer for me. Like I know that he falls, and this is just death throes, and this is desperate and pathetic. And I mean, like, y'all were there when when I first shook his hand with like all of the, like, I'm gonna fuck you so hard. Like, as soon as I get what I want from you, I'm gonna betray you. And like literally what I thought was, that throne is mine. Like mine. All right. So like I may have shook his hand and been like, yeah, I'll kind of work for you, but like I wasn't like all in. I wasn't all into that at all. And yeah, so like I wasn't obeying that master. And it took a lot of life for me to learn to obey God. There's it's it's tricky, though. It is really tricky. And I guess that's why I'm kind of like going off on this kind of tangent, um because that's kind of where I left off, with that. So I'll get back to that. I have been convinced, and I am sure, but I am persuaded consistently. If I allow there to be an argument, if I welcome him to demonstrate his love and reveal that his plan is good, then he will. Then that will be the outcome. Like, that has like, I'm looking back and I'm thinking, like, dude, like, all I would have had to do is like get in a fight. I'll like physically, like, in a physical altercation, or just like call this ugly bitch the ugly bitch that she, like, call her on her being an ugly bitch, like call her on how like unintelligent she is, like, versus me, like, all I would have had to do was like be like who I was, really. But like, you know, hindsight's 2020. I didn't I didn't understand that then. What I understood was I was being urged to be my wicked little child self, and to wild out and like reveal myself, you know. Um and honestly, like there's another factor in this that is like really like messed up, to for me to be in this position, because our teacher, like the teacher of me and the little boy, like in the class, she was a friend of my family. Like, she lived across the street from my uncle's house. Like there was a direct line of communication between like everything that Mindy was doing in class, like, to my family. And so it was like being on best behavior was definitely in my best interest, for like everything, you know, like it was just it was just a really it was a really weird it was a really weird situation, you know, like people were like, oh, your teacher's pet, and it's like, man, like I don't I'm really not being I'm really not leaning into this like favoritism at all. Like, yeah, like she did have a certain concern about me, like I was like so severely bullied, and you know, like sitting alone at lunch, and it's like, well, the only thing that like that's a fucking problem for me, honestly, like I've been sitting alone at lunch, like no joke, is that like I try to sit down and like, oh no, you can't sit here, and it's like, oh, I know you can't sit here, and it just like takes a while to sit down and start eating. So like that's not even like I didn't even really care, but that was something that like she was trying to crack down on the bullying that she was witnessing, and yeah, like I don't know, whatever. So it was a really interesting situation that I switched schools from 5th grade to 6th grade. It was like clean slate. Like I'll just be the bookish, quiet girl that like is wearing all black in 6th grade. I don't know. Um but yeah. So um a time that he that it felt like I was being like wicked and it was like actually good was okay. Um I don't know when this was. It might have been like a year after I was all like, "No, I will not try to be friends with this boy. Ignore him." But he's such a good artist and he likes all the best music when we have when it's his day to do the radio station in art class, and and you like his shoes, like you're a shoe person, like you like his clothes, you're a fashion person. It's like, well, yeah, but whatever. Let it go. And my little brother had like it was like a pimple. My brother's 5 years younger than me. Okay, so if it's this is like a year later, I'm in 7th grade. My like my brother who's 5 years younger than me, like he is not about to be getting like actual like pimples or acne or anything, but he had like a little pimple on his chest, and the first time I saw it, I was like, "Oh, you're way too young to have a pimple," and I was just fucking mean. I was just like, "It's cancer. It's cancer. It's cancer, and you're gonna die." And then I like kind of jokingly changed it to this third nipple because like Joey made fun of Chandler's third nipple on Friends, so I'd like call it a third nipple. But like I was just like bullying my brother like really hard, like yeah. Um it's obviously like really mean to like to see anything on anyone's body and just be like, yeah, you have cancer. Oh, that's totally cancer, you know. And yeah. And and then and then the pimple, you know, like the pimple appeared and I was like, nah, it's cancer, and was fucking mean about it. And then like it didn't heal. It like kept coming back and kept bleeding and getting a little bit bigger, and I was like, okay, well now this is actually acting like cancer. Like I like now it's not a joke anymore. And so like with my brother, I was, you know, leaning more into the whole like friends structure, like it's your third nipple, you're a freak of nature. Um but like it went from bullying him like and just being a shitty big sister to like doubling down on it because I was concerned about it. It was like now I'm relentless every time his shirt comes off for a second because I'm trying to bring attention to it. Um and I talked to my mom about it. I was like, his cancer. So like every time I'm talking to my mom about it, I would be like, you know, like I saw Brian's cancer again today, you know, and like his cancer and everything. I'm talking to my brother about it. I'm like, your third nipple, you're a freak of nature. And and at one point, you know, like I'd been doing this bully thing like trying to bring attention to it instead of just communicating with my mom. Like I didn't have fucking communication with my mom. Like I didn't have any relationship with her, for that really. But at a point I I was just like, "Mom, you need to listen to me. You need to listen to me. Like you need to understand that like I know I know what I'm talking about, and this is not a joke, and and this is not bullshit. Like I'm so fucking serious. Like that's cancer. You need to take him to a doctor." Like so fucking serious. Like I had like a sit down like you need to listen up because like all I am right now is a mouthpiece for God. Like I didn't understand that at the time. I just like I knew what I knew. Like back then I'm operating entirely I am God. I always was, I shall always be, I am God. I am that I am. So there's like anything external from outside of me like feels like interference and feels like the devil to me, right? But like if my inclination was just to like be an evil big sister and like call it cancer and then it started acting like cancer, it's like, well, shit, I know. Okay, yeah. And I was sure of it. I just had like a moment and was like, no, I know. And that was why I had the conscious decision to do the whole friend's third nipple thing with him and to stress it as cancer with my mom. And it was like 25 years later that my mom confessed that um after that sit down that I had with her where I was like, he has cancer. That's he has skin cancer. That's cancer. It was like 25 years later that my mom like was like, "Oh, by the way, that time that you just like intuitively knew that your little brother had cancer, after you like had that really scary angry moment with me, I actually took him to the doctor and found out that he did have cancer. And that's why all of that weirdness with my brother and he was so spoiled. He was so spoiled and yeah, it was cuz he had skin cancer for a few years and she didn't even tell anyone until 25 years later. Um so like that felt like being evil and being wicked, but it led to something really good, right? Like it was that bullying and it was getting my mom on board. Um and like could there have been a nice way to do that? Yeah, definitely, but that didn't happen like that. So like that's just an incidence of like it feeling like the devil got up in me and I was just being mean, and it was like, no wait, that's actually like good. That's like God. Like that was divine interference, right? Like intervention. That was divine intervention. And I was used for that, right? So it's weird that anyway. So so I think this is also the biblical equivalent of my assertion made based on the fact that our beliefs dictate our reality and our experiences. And in the duality of it all, we create either from fear or love. My assertion is that the only thing that can prevent our benevolent intentions from manifesting is our belief that anything can prevent those benevolent intentions from manifesting, right? You are either deciding the quantum path with fear or love, and love leapfrogs over all obstacles as if they didn't exist. It's the multidimensional dominoes I talk about. I don't know if there's a video about that, or that's just something I've done in like IRL churching. Um, and in Christ's construct, the only thing that can keep you from receiving the blessing God has for you is the belief that anything can keep you from receiving that blessing. Nothing can come between you and God's love for you. You can't serve two masters. You either focus on the adversary and those obstacles, your curses or your enemies, or you focus on God and trust that He trumps all that. So So then I'm just like, yeah, man, I don't know, because it seemed like I was serving darkness, chaos, the adversary, the devil. But, I definitely did fight urges that were just violent and insane, I thought. But I fought urges that were good too. There were times that, like, I should have gone up to that little boy. Like, I could have been, a true friend, a light in his life, like, a like mind. Like, our situations, like, we were so well met with with family secrets and just I don't know. It's yeah. I just didn't realize that until, like 4 years ago. From from age 11. Something that I experienced at age 11 was not made clear to me. I did not see with 2020 vision until 2021, until I was what, 38, 39, 38, I think. Um yeah. Yeah. Something from age 11 was not made clear until age 38. Like, it is like it is so confusing. It is so confusing, okay? Um so many urges with narrow eyes and a cold heart that felt like evil, felt like the devil had got up in me, turned out to be so good, actually. Like I just told you, the cancer example. Um and it was God using how capable I was of heartless cruelty, of fearless, reckless abandon. And at times, he did use how little regard I had for my own life, how ready I was to die. Like, I can look back on this now and understand that I may have initially like chosen like, hey Satan, thank you. Yes, I need to be able to go about this world without being found out that I am God among men. But I had turned from him. Like, I did not claim him as my master, but I didn't acknowledge that by default that meant that God was. And so I didn't understand. I didn't have any relationship with God to understand that an urge, that a compulsion, that like, why can't I get this out of my head? Like, it feels fucking crazy, dude. Like, and that only intensified as I got older. And the more fucking antipsychotics that they put into me, like, the more maddening it got, the less anything made sense, the less there was like a thought that was clawing at my brain. And it got to be like it was just a tone. It was just a tornado siren going off. This invisible, silent tornado siren just shaking my entire being, trying to rip my soul out of my body. And I'm just like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do except make a phone call and sound like a crazy person. So, like, in the interest of shutting up this siren, hi, I know we don't talk anymore, but an alarm is going off in my head, and I've really been sitting with it for a long time trying to get any information other than just the alarm going off. And it seems to be you. It seems to be you. So I don't know. I don't know what you've got on your mind, man. I don't know what you're about to do or what you're doing, or if you're in a situation you need to get out of. I don't know. I don't know what is going on, but I know that God is doing this to me for you. And that's all I have. That's all I have. So, you know, and it's like, yeah, I came off as a total crazy person to that friend of mine. Luckily, that was a friend of mine that was like well versed in I am a god among men, and like when I know something, I know something. And the times that I have predicted reality is like, dude, like I command it. Like the ways that I have avoided death, like this friend of mine has, like, he has been witness to it. He has been witness to the experiences that stand as my testimony. And so so he got that phone call from me and was like, oh shit, okay, yeah, and changed his course of action. And you know, as my brain heals from the antipsychotic medications that they put in me to try to shut up the voices in my head, even though the voice in my head is God, um as I'm healing from that, I'm hearing a voice again. I'm hearing I'm hearing Christ speak. I'm having I'm having spirit visions, like I'm wide awake and like a dream vision, but wide awake, and just like seeing things in that void way, like, you know, feeling like you got ripped out of the timeline, and like where they're witnessing something from the future, and then you get back into like where you are in the timeline, and you're like, okay, like that just happened, you know. And having prophetic dreams also. And uh it's I'm healing from that. Like I'm regaining the ability to to serve to serve God, and and um and to have, you know, like constructive psychic um abilities, and like, you know, I mean, like, because like conscious co-creation, right? Like when I had my boyfriend, and like he was the king and I was the queen, and like, and we'd go to the thrift store, and we would stand outside the thrift store, and we'd look at each other, and we'd be like, so we're gonna get this, and we're gonna get this, and we're gonna get this. And we would go in the thrift store, and we would find exactly those things, like, without fail. Like, we would assert this is what our experience is going to be, and then we would go and we would immediately, like, our expectation was met. And it's like it was like such a sure expectation, you know, like, so this like co co-conscious creation, like manifestation, um is is not is not like that, that does fit into the framework of Christ, and Christ consciousness. You know, like, I've been talking about Christ consciousness since like 2009, but like now, you know, like, I understand how to use the biblical framework, and this is helping me to navigate having extrasensory perception, like clairvoyance. I don't know what else you like want me to like tell you. Like, this, like, I'm not a crazy person, like, I'm a gifted person. I was born a gifted person. I elected to shut down those gifts because I was influenced into believing that if I made those gifts known, and not because I was like trying to. Like, I was like, dude, I get that everybody's still asleep, and I don't know how long they're gonna be asleep, but nobody wants to know that they're God and I'm God, and they just all forgot, and like, this is gonna be a big party, you know, like, nobody's on board with that. Like, I got that. I got that. I was mad about it, but like, I wasn't trying to like scream that from the mountaintops, you know? Like, I was telling just like a few select people, and it was turning against me really bad, you know? And so I didn't even have any understanding that it would have been the psychiatric industry that would come down on me, that that's the form the persecution would take at the time that I was, you know, I had dream after dream after dream, um of being in like a psychiatric institution, like alien fucking sci-fi, like crazy, like I'm trapped, they're studying me, they won't let me out, it's because I'm special, like, it was that. And um you know, I did not realize that that I would fly under the radar, fly, you know, that I would get away, with this, as long as I have, as long as I did, either, honestly, you know, like, there have been times that I've just been completely honest with the psychiatric industry and been like yeah man, like I have all of these like symptoms, like and the times that I was like 100% honest with my perceptions and you know, like my maintained delusion that I am God and everyone else is too, but I'm just the only one that remembers, right? Like my delusion that I had to download from the fucking like Akashic record, like because this is a fucking Matrix hologram, like dream scenario when I was 5 years old, you know, like that delusion, whatever. I shared that with like people in the industry, and they were just like, "You're lying. You're lying. You're far too capable, far too intelligent, far too eloquent to be experiencing these things. You could not be experiencing this level of schizophrenia and still be functioning. So thus you don't have those symptoms, and we're not going to treat them or even acknowledge them, you know." It's like, all right. So you know, that's they landed on BPD, borderline personality disorder, and it's like, sure, that's the catch-all. Something's wrong with me. Like they got to find some reason to put drugs in me. So fucking bipolar and whatever. But like if you know that you're a god and that sleep is an illusion, like do you really need to sleep? Yeah, like no. But whatever. Um so yeah, I'm sharing my experience, like hoping that it will help someone else, you know, like because it doesn't matter if this book is like heavily edited by the devil and like all the patriarchy and all of that, like there is enough truth in here that it can help you to navigate. It helps me to navigate. I know it helps other people to navigate too, you know, like one of the one of the things that I struggle with is staying sober, not using drugs or alcohol. Um and one of the ways that I, you know, that helps me for that is that like I don't need drugs. I never needed drugs or alcohol. Like my consciousness isn't like trapped at all. Like all of the like weird, like all the bizarre trippy experiences, like I've experienced things that like you would think drugs would have been a factor, but they were not. They were absolutely not. And I'm like, well, if I if I use drugs and alcohol in order to cope, in order to manage how clairvoyant I am, in order like whether to shut it down or to fine tune it or whatever, like that's using a crutch, and I'm not going to get those abilities back to where they should be, like now that I know that I'm serving the good, and I don't want to break it down. I do not want to destroy the matrix anymore. I am like order comes from chaos, but I don't want to just crush the can in my hand anymore. Like I truly believe in the evolution of human consciousness. I've been about that since 2009. Y'all that have been here, you know that. Like I believe in that. And I think where we're at now, there's these convergent timelines, like, you know, like we're on one where the path, like it's just end bad doom, and then the other path is like going up, and we're like merging those at this point, and that's how we create a new path. So yeah, but everything has already like everything has already happened, is already happening, like forever, in the present now. The past is an illusion, the future is an illusion, there's only the present, right? And like everything has already happened, and so like it's misleading to say that you are like manifesting your reality. Like you don't need to put the room together, you just need to visualize the room and know that you can get there. Like it's already there. everything, everything that you can conceive of, everything has already happened. Everything is happening in the now. And so there's nothing to prevent you from taking a huge leap, such as the leap of faith, right? Like into being your more healed self, your more happy self, your more peaceful self, and like it is love that is expansive. It is love is high consciousness. Like it is unconditional love, gratitude, forgiveness. That is Christ consciousness. That's what Christ consciousness is composed of. And so if you want to subscribe to Christ consciousness, your intentions need to be aligned with that. So as long as your intentions are benevolent, and what is something that you can pray for yourself, like that that is harmless, that's good for everyone, and that's peace. I choose peace of mind for myself. I choose peace for myself. I choose the end of my suffering, but not just my suffering, all suffering. I choose the end of the experience of suffering. It is not necessary anymore. We did that to death. Like, all we need to do is realize that we don't have to stay on this timeline. We don't have to abide these rules that keep us in this linear progression. Love is so expansive. Existing in the now with the faith that you are not divided from God. Like, you can propel yourself so far away from timelines, from habits, from patterns, and everything. So this is just like that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm about. I don't know how much of this has made sense. I don't really have a headache anymore, but I'm like burning up. Like I'm so hot, and I'm like sitting on my legs. And I have no idea what I look like, which is like actually a blessing because I can't like the screen is like static. There's like a little circle that I can see my head like bobbing in, but like that's why I don't have a headache because I basically have been live streaming and not having to look at a screen because I have screen sickness. Actually, what is going on is that like for some reason I've been having a progressive symptom that seems to coincide with medications and the Omicron strain and like COVID itself. I don't really know how to unpack all that. Like I guess like what I'm trying to say is like the first time I went to the hospital because screen sickness, it was when COVID was like it was the fall that COVID started, but nobody was calling it COVID. Like it wasn't the COVID pandemic then. Like that was just like the very beginning of COVID. And so like I don't even know if I had it then. Nobody knows if I had it then. Um, but it got so much worse. Like it got so fucking severe, like to the point that like I couldn't check the time on a fully lit phone screen. Like without a blue light filter and my screen really dim, if I just checked the time for a second, it would be like, oh my God. And so I was just calling it screen sickness for a long time. Well, I looked up all the symptoms, and what it is it's pre-seizure symptoms. It's pre-seizure symptoms. That's what it is. So that's something that I'm dealing with, and that's been really preventing me from being as present in this YouTube space as I would like to be. So like I really hope I can figure out how I did this. Like I was just trying to use the phone and it was like glitching, and like my phone, like I need a new phone too, and like the app was just like glitching and crashing, and like it was like not registering like where I was touching because it was still loading or something. I don't know. Like there was like so much fucking just like screen glitching shit. I didn't even know if this was gonna be live streaming, like if I was even gonna do it. And like here I am somehow in this like screencast. So like if I get a text from anybody, you would see it. And if I texted anybody, like anything I do on my screen, you would totally see. Like that is so crazy. That is so crazy. And I would love to show you my Animal Crossing Pocket Camp right now, although it's like, I mean, it's magical. It's like, it's a nice, like, magical space, but like, it ain't really like much. I mean, I don't even know, like, do I still have, I think I might still have the True Romance set in the top floor of my cabin. And I think I took down the American Beauty set on the second floor. I don't know. But my phone is not capable of running Animal Crossing Pocket Camp and any other program simultaneously. I've got to shut everything down in order to play Pocket Camp. And that is, thankfully, blessed be, something that I can do on my phone that doesn't make me immediately pre-seizure symptoms sick. Like, it is the most amazing thing. You guys, I can still play a video game. Oh, and my friend is gonna like toast let me borrow his PS4, so I'm gonna get the Monster High game for PS4. Dude, I saw like a trailer for it, and like I thought that it was like for the fucking series. Like I would like it looks so much just like the cartoon series. Like that's awesome. That's what I want to do. I just want to play cartoons, you know, like poor Rascal. Rascal has a bad rap and well deserved. Like it is a poorly developed game, but Rascal, I fucking love that game. Like I just want to like, you know, I just am a cartoon. So I like that video games can like, you know, be an expression of that, a manifestation of that. But yeah. Uh well, I'll have to figure it out and have to make more videos. Like I did have a wonderful opportunity for a moment, like for a few weeks, maybe a few months. I had a ministry and that was amazing and I'm just like, well, man, like I don't have that anymore. And that doesn't mean that I can't, you know, still do that because I do have this web platform that I can use for that. And so like that's what I'm doing, and this is, you know, this is my experience, which like I don't know how many people come from evolution of human consciousness, like manifestation, you know, like having psychic abilities, like understanding that like what you think like does impact the reality matrix. So like it really does matter. And like when the Bible says that like if you think it if you think of the sin, if you imagine yourself sinning, it is as good as sinning. Well, yeah, that's because like anything that we imagine ourselves doing like in another reality, we are actually doing that, you know, and like trying to like, you know, process the fact that we don't have past lives and future lives. We have concurrent lives, and that everything is always in the process of balancing, that like this balance is like always maintained. Like it's so, you know, and coming to Christianity, and to Christian doctrine and to the Bible with all of that. I don't know if I don't know who those people are. I don't know if you're out there, but it's you know, Jesus was a quantum teacher in you know, in a land that didn't have no science, you know. um the Bible says like not to mix linen and cotton because they're opposite frequencies. Like they're both high frequency but opposite ends of the spectrum. They cancel one another out. We set tables with linen because that raises vibration. We pray over food because that raises the vibration of the food that we are putting into our body. Like it is teaching how to raise vibration and align yourself with Christ consciousness. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing, you know. When I was little, God said, you will lead my people. You will you will teach them, you will lead them. And I was like, fuck that, I don't want to do that at all. And the thing is that, like, well, God God didn't say "Do you wanna do that, Mindy?" That was, it was just like, "Well, you got a heads up." Like, you definitely were made aware that this was what you were gonna do, and it was like, man, and I'll be damned if I haven't. I don't know, I shouldn't say that, you should be careful what you say, and, like, but also you shouldn't be so fearful, like, the most important thing is to not, operate presently in fear, so, like, right, it's all intention. Um, but man, like, I have not ever been able to escape the role of teacher, leader, wise person. Like, I'm I'm just surrendering to it finally. I fought it like so long. And I didn't even really think that when I started this whole evolution of human consciousness thing, you know, um on the internet in 2009, like, I didn't even look at that as like I was leading a movement, or I was being a teacher. I didn't even look at that as leaning into it. That was just what I had done at that point, was surrender to humanity. Like, I was like, I for the first time, I sincerely, earnestly owned, like, I am human. My consciousness is human, and I acknowledge and allow that, which means I allow access to my consciousness. Like, everything that I know, everything that I've experienced, this is everyone is capable of it. I've gone off all my life, like, believing that, like, everyone is capable of having these experiences, of having this awareness, and moving through the world like I have. But it was like 2008 or 2009 that I was like, after a lifetime of denying that I'm human, like I'm alien, I'm fucking Nephilim, I'm fucking demon. Like, I was just like, I am human. I am human. My consciousness pools with that of the collective human consciousness. And it was like, in doing that, in that very deliberate, intentional, like, spirit vision, like, thing that I did, it was like giving like a really great gift to humanity. Like like that was a paradigm shifting experience. And it was a paradigm shifting experience in 2012, when I was like, oh, yeah. So, I think that we're, like, going through a paradigm shifting experience now, and I'm navigating it. I don't know if following me is helping you navigate it. It's like, but whatever. Um, I don't know how to end this. Why am I so hot? I have to turn my air conditioning up. Yeah. So yeah, sorry I'm so scattered, and I know I seem like really crazy, but I'm unfortunately not just insane. I am just the person here, the individual expression of consciousness that is aware that it is consciousness itself. And if I can navigate it, you can navigate it. And how do I know that I can navigate it? Because Jesus did. Oh, man, I feel so seen reading about Jesus in the Bible. Like, oh, yes, yes. Oh, it's so hard. Like you just did. You just proved that you are what you say you are to them. And now they don't remember, and it's like, yeah, you're gonna betray me. And I forgive you already. Like, oh, it sucks. It's painful. It's hard. It's confusing. And And the surrender that I'm experiencing now, like just feeling like absolutely like puppeteered into like hell, um is really wild. It's really wild. And that is something that I talk about a lot in my experience with the awareness that I'm a dissociative identity disorder system, you know. Um but like that's that's what all of this is. Like we're all God having a dissociative identity disorder, right? So yeah, my other videos are more about that DID experience of like something took the wheel and it is not me, and it does not seem to be like for me or helping me, but just gotta trust in the plan. It's your plan, my plan. But yeah, what's our trajectory? It's upward as long as we choose love. Love and peace. Love and peace and the end of suffering. That's like just heaven on earth. Like I'm fully shooting for nothing less than heaven on earth. Like that's what evolution of human consciousness is all about. Like when we all wake up to this, like there won't be evil in the world like there is. Like when you know, like it's because of the awareness, it's because of the download that I got when I was 5 years old, that every evil in me, in my body, all of the urges and all of that, um that that I haven't given into it. that's that's why I'm not just like psychotically evil, because like I shit you not, like without that and this life that I've had and the awareness that like you can't do something, it's like you can't do anything to somebody else because everybody else is you, and it's like it's only hurting you, and like just trying to understand, you know, like everything that's going on, and and that it is no small insignificant thing to end a human life or to take a human life, you know. And I did feed on the pain and suffering and misery and confusion and all of that from humankind, and felt so empowered by it. And it's like I know what that would feed if I did take a life. But like yeah, it's it's because of it's because of I think I don't. I mean, I don't. I mean, I would like to say that there would be like other circumstances in which I would not have turned out to be a psychotic serial killer cult leader person. But like honestly, like if I'm just being real with you, like that awareness that I am downloaded when I was 5 years old, it has been keeping a leash on me like you would not believe. And this has been a lesson in applying my fearlessness, in applying my all the psychotic traits, you know, like not attaching consequence to current actions, and you know, like that stuff. And yeah, like this is this is very much like a journey. Like I'm healing, I'm healing, I'm healing from being, you know, uh a menace to society. Like I'm not a serial killer. I know it's like such a serial killer me thing to do, to be like to look into a camera and say so earnestly, like with all of my acting prowess, like shit, I can lie to you like you wouldn't believe. I don't want to do that anymore. I choose not to do that. You know why? It's fucking scary how good I can lie. Like I scare myself with the things I have been capable of, with the fucking like darkness that I have been capable of. It is scary at this point. I scare myself. That's like, that fear is a gift from God. Honestly, it is. that fear is a gift from God. Mostly I just don't do bad things because I don't want to go to jail and be in an actual prison, as I am aware that I am in a prison matrix already all my life, aware of that and those walls and those bars. But yeah, I'm not a serial killer, and and I'm not without darkness. I'm not without darkness. It's I'm choosing the light. I am choosing the light and the love, like, so hard, so hard, so hard. Like, I think that just like that's that's just something that happens. Like, you look at all, like, the serial killers, like, that have been found out, and you study them and everything. um like Charles Manson and Dahmer and stuff, and it's like, it's just something. They needed a logic leash on them, like I've had. And then who knows what they would have done? Who knows what good they would have done? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm doing good now. I'm being uh a light in the world, instead of a fucking archontically ridden uh servant of chaos. But, like, it's weird to know me, because, like, if I'm being honest and I'm being real, and I always am being real, it's like, well, I heard that little news thing about, like, some people died, and, like, it felt kind of good to me. The less people, the better. I kind of fucking hate people. Really fucking hate people. Really fucking hate people. Like, like, um, so it's it's definitely interesting. It's definitely interesting and, like, confusing. I know, for people to, like, know me in real life, and I understand if it's confusing for you to know, like, me and what I'm about. That I can be like, yeah, evolution of human consciousness and God and the love of God, and I feel so consumed and I feel so loved by God. Like, there's something external from me. Like, as much as I am God, I am also not God, because I am human, and I choose to be human. I choose to be human. I choose limitation. Like, yes, I did. I chose that. I choose that. I've chosen everything in my life that I have experienced so far, and everything that I will experience. Like, this is. I think that where the Bible and I jump off, like, where we have, like, very big. I have beef with Christianity. It's that focus that at the end of your life you'll be in heaven with God, and you've got to do this in order to get to heaven, or you're gonna go to hell. And it's like, that's bullshit. Like, all roads lead home. Every path, every path that you're walking, no matter how much it seems like you are just going deeper and deeper into hell, I guarantee you, it may be more circuitous, there may be a lot more detours, it may take you a lot longer, but you are 100% only going home. You are only returning to unity. That is what we are doing. There is no avoiding that. The whole heaven and hell thing is is how you're choosing to live your life, whether you're choosing to live your life in, the high vibration of love and forgiveness and peace, or feeding on people's suffering and feeding your darkness, and being violent and checked out, being addicted, like living in apathy. Anger is better than apathy. Anger is a higher vibration than apathy. you know um that's the heaven and hell. Heaven and hell is as you create it to be in your present, with your intentions, with your actions, and with how you process your emotions too, right? So these aren't destinations. The destination is home. The destination is unity. So you hell is here. Heaven is here when you choose for it to be. I speak from the experience of having created hell for myself for a lot of years, for half my life. For 20 years, I created hell. For 20 years I've been creating. Now for 20 years I've been creating heaven. It's gonna be cool when, like, for more of my life, I've been evolution of human consciousness, believing that this isn't just another failed petri dish experience that we have to set on fire, that I don't have to go around again, you know? Like, yeah. Prayer is first and foremost praise. I count I count I count my blessings like sheep as I try to go to sleep. The blessings are the people in my life. God sent every one of them. Even if they seem to be my enemy, they weren't, because nothing is outside of me. Everything is a reflection of the inner me that I am not willing or able to see. That's the nature of this shared reality. So I thank you for paying some attention to me. I love you. I appreciate you so much. And feel it. I feel it. I feel that love and light. I feel that love and light. I love to feel that love and light. I feel like I've served. I feel like I've served. I feel like I'm in God's favor. Like, even though I know looking back at this, a lot of it's going to be cringe to me, like, this is the God's honest, and this is me entirely unedited, and this is me with a headache and sweating my ass off, and not allowing there to be any excuse for delivering the message that I was urged, persuaded to deliver. Oh, because I forgot to tell you, not only did I like scroll and poke my phone on Instagram and find that Romans 8:38, that like, wow, I really identify with that. I really feel that. Like, yeah, I feel so loved by God. Everything I do and everything I've done, it has only moved me closer to love. It has only raised my vibration. Like, it is amazing. But a friend of mine who shares the faith and experiences, we have more than just that in common, just like randomly like sent that very passage to me, like with the wording persuaded as it is in my version, even on the same day that I was looking at it. I didn't tell him I was looking at it. I had to go back and check. I didn't post it on Facebook. And it was like, yeah, okay, message received. And so I studied it, and I thought on it, and I wrote about it, and then I made this video. And and this has been Churching with Mindy. uh, if you dig my vibe, subscribe. Bless up. Okay, I don't know like how to stop this, which has been like, I think, kind of a little very. Oh, okay, I tapped my little face thing, and